What's up, everybody? Big Herc Live. Open chat with Big Herc, episode 1. What's on your mind? Haven't did a live in a while, and this is one of the first lives that I've done on YouTube. So I want to say welcome. If you guys are tuned in, and would love to hear from you guys. A lot of stuff going on as far as just trying to stay active, stay busy, and not let what's going on out there in the world, take you down. You got to stay positive, man. You got to stay thinking about something. Keep your mind preoccupied. Make sure you guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the alarm so that way you guys can get notices of all the up and coming videos. Make sure you guys go over and subscribe to Fresh Out. You want to stay on top of that, what we got going on over there. And yeah, man, would love to continue to put out this dope content with you guys, and also do collabos. We're kind of at this time limited as far as what we've been doing with a lot of the interviews, just because it's hard right now to do in-person interviews. So we've been going back more to the prison talks and the conversation, and it's been working though. It's been working, so we're not mad at that. But we will get back to interviewing people once everything opens back up, and we could meet in person. Right now you got people telling on each other for gathering more than 5 people. In some places more than 10. So it's you're dealing with a lot of unnecessary drama right now. So yeah, man, what's going on with you guys out there? What is new? Would be interested if you guys would shoot in some comments. I'll respond to some of the comments, get your feedback. Yeah, it is a lot of people telling on each other. We all are kind of trying to figure out what's the best way to deal with this on a daily. But I know for a lot of people, it's the longer this goes on, the more confusing it becomes. So, you guys, I just say, try to stay positive. Try to not let this overwhelm you as far as just your daily. I know some of you guys with kids out there, you're trying to homeschool, and you haven't been to school in a while, so the homeschooling's pretty wild. But just got to do what you got to do right now, man. It's a time to bond with people that you care about, and just create some dialogue out there. Maintain such a tight shave. I try to shave every couple of days. Somebody asked me what's up with what I think about the 5G. I've been reading up on it, man. I'm not an expert on it, but I try to stay up on game with that, man. What up? Shout out to Northern California, man, for sure. Yeah, I try to stay up on the 5G game, man. I mean, you make a comment, people think you're a conspiracy theorist, you know what I mean? Because you're opinionating on something, but at the end of the day, we all have opinions. We're all trying to figure out what's happening. And yeah, there is information out there, and there's a lot of misinformation, but I try to keep my mind as open as possible and get down to what's really going on behind the scenes. Oh, got somebody out there in Lompoc. Oh man, I ain't been to that place since I've been out the pen, man. Horrible, horrible memories. But it's also one of the places where I first got laced up at. Love your videos, bro. Learn a lot from them. Enjoy listening while I'm on the road. Hey, man, I'm glad I could put some positive energy out there so that you can enjoy the conversation and listen in and keep yourself occupied. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm still on this new stream right here. I'm trying to figure out why I can't see the rest of the live chat messages for some reason. But anyways, hey, you guys, let me see. Yeah, the whole world does seem like one big prison. They got everybody locked down. They got people in their houses. People are cutting up T-shirts. They're putting bandanas around their faces. It's just, initially they said you had to have a certain mask. Now everybody's putting anything on their face to try to cover up, and who knows at the end of the day what the hell, How do I work out with no gym? Luckily, I got, some weights in the garage. I got a stationary bike, got dumbbells. I got a pull down machine. I got enough to get busy, so I stay active in the gym. I stay busy, got to keep my body right, mind right, got to keep clear thoughts and, allow myself to, not get, weighed down with all the negative. A lot of negative energy right now. Frequencies is right now is what's killing people, man. A lot of negative frequencies, a lot of negative energy. Got the homie Jazzy J from North Highlands. What's up, man? Thanks. I appreciate all the great work. Yeah, man, got to keep laced up, man. It's been a long journey, a lot of lessons learned. You see me in my transition, man, from when I was a little pup, man. You used to see me out there putting in work. And, you know what's happening, man. This stuff, man, they blowing a lot of smoke. So, I got to keep pushing through the smoke so I can get to the truth. My thoughts on 6ix9ine, man, you already know. I mean, we spoke on him before. I don't even want to give that guy the time of day as far as, the exposure. He basically made a mockery of hip-hop. He made a mockery of just the people in hip-hop. And I hope people kind of pay attention to that so they don't, let him wiggle back in and just, run around and take advantage of, just what he did before. Because his whole career was based on, trolling people, creating beefs, causing violence, and whether or not he wants to try to point the blame. He's a grown man, and, I hope he, whatever his life entails, man, I just don't want anything to do with it. Quarantine, it's been, I still... I still try to maneuver, man, to whatever degree. I'm not going to sit in the house and act like, I don't have any way of doing anything. I still got to get out and somehow, get some fresh air and do stuff with the wife and grocery shop and stuff like that. So I try to keep somewhat of some activity going. I wonder why I can't see the messages on the YouTube. Huh, that's weird. I'm still trying to figure out. All messages visible. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that part out. So I don't know. I'm still some of the stuff on the YouTube live stream. I'm still trying to figure out the details, but yeah, stay reading books. Books is one of the, you kind of, I know a lot of you guys are watching Netflix out there, but pick up some stuff. There's some deep books out there. We have a lot of good books on the Fresh Out website as far as some stuff I read that'll get your mind going and, help you to maybe clear your conscience, but definitely take the time to read right now. Talk to your kids. A lot of you guys, you don't spend as much time with your girlfriend or your wife, so there's going to be a lot of discussion with that going on right now. create the conversation, man, and open up dialogue, and just really think about what the situation is right now, and if you could do something different about it, what would you do? And when you say that, then that means that you're proactive. That means that you're not somebody who's just gonna sit around and wait for things to change. So rather than we come out of this, or rather than bow down to be just a slave, start telling your kids how to be proactive. Start teaching them about things that have taken place in history, or how things play out, or how politics and money work, so that they can be educated. A lot of people are not educated right now. Australia, what's up? Shane Sparks. Hi, Big Herc from Australia. Stay safe, bro. We'll pass hopefully sooner rather than later. I agree, man. I'm waiting for this thing to blow over, man. My thoughts on people getting released early from prison for the COVID. Hey, man, blessings to those guys who have been able to get out early. A day out of prison early is a blessing. I hated every day I was in there. Wasn't nothing to brag about. Having more time to get out with your loved ones and not be subjected to that lockdown situation is great. A lot of my people, a lot of people I know that's still dealing with the federal system, they're not getting that type of treatment, because feds is different than the state. But to those in the state who have been able to get out, man, bless you, bro. Do you believe in this virus or just a smokescreen? Oh, man, the virus, I believe that there is definitely something going on with people as far as getting sick, as far as there being something that's not healthy with some of these people. I know a lot of people with compromised immune systems have been more subject to this than others. They said young people have contracted it, but the thing that still perplexes me is how people are contracting the disease. The virus. How they contracting the virus. They say that people could be host, and that it could, survive outside on hard surfaces. There's a lot of things I'm trying to make sense of. Then how, you have certain places that are epicenters, how those places epicenters more than others. We see New York. New York is a highly congested, high-tech area with a lot of electronics and stuff and going on. But we don't hear about a lot of cases in, like, the Midwest. Let's say, let's pick a rural city in Kentucky, or pick somewhere in Montana. Is there any cases in Montana? Is there any cases in Wyoming? These places where they don't have a lot of people, and as far as exposure, is that, let's do the numbers there and try to make sense of it. And are all the people who are dying, did they have any pre-existing conditions, pneumonia, cancer, kidney failure, and then are they being separated from the corona deaths, so that we know who's dying from what? So that's what I want to know. How does it all play out in that sense? There's a lot of stuff out there. I can't say, one's more than the other, but it just to me, it's just confusing. And then you have Russia. They don't have, a lot of reported cases, and they border China. So how does that work? This containment thing, man, I don't know. It's a lot of just misinformation out there. And I'm not with the vaccination thing, so I'll tell you that straight up. Depopulation agenda, yeah. I would have to, I would have to agree with that, man. I would have to agree that I'm not, I don't agree with eugenics. I don't think anybody should be playing God. I don't, I'm not with anything to do with trying to play with people's lives. I know how valuable life is, and who is somebody to say somebody else's life is more valuable than the next person? So, Sancho, I see you, man. They said they got plenty of hospitals filled in D.C. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting that people are getting sick, that people are sick. It's just what's the truth. You can't really trust the news anymore because they lie so damn much. I don't know if there's been something like this that happened before. Throughout history, I mean, the last thing they said was close to this was the Spanish flu. A lot of people died. They called it a national emergency, but it wasn't a lockdown situation. Once it reached its apex, it just kind of everybody carried on with life. But it wasn't serious enough to where they want to shut down all means of commerce. So when you talk about something shutting down commerce, even during war, when they had the last World War, there were factories open to try to make goods for the military. There were people, with shops open to kind of cater to those who were still home. So, you got to put that all in perspective, man. I mean, to me, this is like an economic battle. It's an economic warfare situation where you're talking about a silent weapon for a quiet war, and they are people who have built businesses over, decades that are losing everything, that have, no means of income. And if they do have a savings, they're dipping into that right now. And it's like, why? Was it required? I mean, for a worldwide shutdown? So I look at it's a reset, man. I can't see the chats on the YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. I can't see nobody's chats. I don't know either. But yeah, it's something else, man. Because this is a worldwide reset, man. So for all these different economies to be shut down, this is YouTube. To be shut down is crazy. I didn't see the thing about Floyd Mayweather's daughter. I heard that she stabbed somebody over NBA YoungBoy, something about a comment, but I didn't hear about it. I just kind of heard briefly about it by Willie D. They said there's tons of cases in Africa. Somebody said. Military warned us about a virus in 2017. Now, when we hear about like these people having known ahead of time about viruses, how do they all know about it? What is the predisposition for getting a heads up on a virus? I mean, there were even predictions about this economic crash. If you look at the last big economic crash was 2008. It was the dot-com boom, and then tied in with the housing. Everything tanked. You know what I mean? And then now it took another roughly 12 years for it to build back up. And then we have another crash. But this time, it's a total, it's a total reset. You have nobody working. So it's just crazy. To think that people will say, oh, it's really the virus. I don't know, man. It's just, I've seen how certain situations, they'll accept collateral damage. They will accept so many people dying because, and so for this to be a situation where they don't want to have, they have to shut it down for containment. It's still, it's crazy to me, man. It's crazy. So I don't know. None of it's really making sense, but I can tell you right now, if you guys ever thought about what it was like to be locked down in prison, well, this is similar to what a lockdown situation is, but you're stuck in your bathroom. Somebody said high-level politicians were caught selling their stock right before the crash, before they locked it down. Yeah, it's a lot of weird stuff going on, man. And if you guys aren't aware, um, a high level German politician recently committed suicide, which is kind of weird. I think he was a chancellor of finance or minister of finance, 52 years old. They said he committed suicide. So I mean, he couldn't take the, I guess, the coronavirus situation got to him. He said he was kind of stressed, which makes it kind of questionable, because if he's dealt with finances in the billions, possibly trillions, I don't see why something like this. I mean, you got people who are damn near homeless who aren't killing themselves. So I don't know. That was questionable. Venezuela, they've indicted the president and a lot of his cabinet members for narco terrorism. You guys, read up on that. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. They really cracked down on the borders, and they're right now going after the cartels. So there's a lot of stuff that this virus is kind of like taking front runner. But there's a lot of other stuff in the news that you guys need to be aware of. It's just crazy, man. I keep trying to wrap my mind around it, and it all goes back to me, to the money system. There's a lot going on with our currency. You pumping more money into the economy as far as to offset what's being lost, but you got to remember, our money has no backing, so there's nothing securing all this money that's circulating. So at what point is the dollar going to come, pretty much just devalued? This is a question. It's a question that we all need to look at, man. I don't know. It's a crazy situation. It's a crazy time right now, and when we come out of this, I think that a lot of people are going to be blown away of the outcome when we do finally figure out. When they show us, they expose us to what was going on behind the scenes. Because I think there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that are beyond what a lot of people are ready to handle. I think that the money definitely is a big play in this. Me and my family are safe, man. Thank you for asking. We appreciate that. Cryptocurrency, man. There's a lot of different things that are going to be pretty crazy after this. As far as investment wise, I've seen already people are making car deals that are crazy. Cars are being sold at dealer invoice. Somebody mentioned to me that a friend of his got an offer for a brand new M4 at like 40% discount. So it's damn near what the dealer paid for the car just to move it right now, because they can't move nothing. They're not making no money. So, and even after this, for a lot of that automotive industry to play catch up, and they've already missed the first quarter in sales. So you're going into now second, third quarter. I mean, the numbers for a lot of these companies is going to be garbage. And they're going to be asking for a lot of bailouts. But what about the working class? What about the bailouts for the people who have kids, who have families? That's what really needs to be discussed. And if you haven't, taking place in politics before at a local level or state level, it might be time to kind of get involved in that. I mean, I'm even a little bit more conscious now of just what I hear these people saying, just because, a lot of it sounds like rhetoric, but it's a wake-up call for a lot of people. I mean, everybody was kind of living a good life. They were in their little bubble. Things seemed perfect. And now everybody's life is upside down. A lot of people are going to be getting divorces. You're going to have a lot of kids being born. Hopefully the parents are going to be there for the kids being born. It's going to be a weird time, man, between everything that's going on. Fusion916, thanks for the donation. You said you plan on buying rims with your stimulus check, huh? I hear you, man. Do what you got to do, man. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. Get it in. There, push-ups give me gains. Push-ups won't really give you gains. You'll be able to maintain with push-ups. I mean, you'll have you'll have some kind of pump, but as far as like, you'd have to do a lot of push-ups. I mean, dudes in prison are doing push-ups and they're also doing dips and a lot of other stuff, you know. What do you think about Boris Johnson, English Prime Minister, hospitalized? It's interesting, man. I mean, keep an eye out on a lot of the celebrities, a lot of the high-ranking politicians, as far as what happens with them in the next, couple weeks, if they check out or decide to self-quarantine, or, they somehow come up with coronavirus. Let's see how many of them recover. Let's watch the dialogue with a lot of those people. Advice for young hustlers trying to flip things. My advice is, if you're a young guy, young 20s, early 20s, maybe, 18, 19 to 22, 23, 24, is create your own business, man. Start working now, to create a platform so you're self-employed. You don't want to be at the mercy of anybody as far as in being employed. And, if you can get into some type of manufacturing, some type of production, that would be the future, because there's nothing being produced here. There's some garments, maybe, there's some things with 3D printers that people are producing, but if you can get into production, you can get into transport. As far as transportation, right now, people who drive trucks, who are still moving produce, are working. So you want to look at anything to do with like the trucking industry, moving of goods, warehousing of products. But, partner up with a couple people, man, and put together a business, a little business plan, man. And let's see, see how that, see what you guys can make from that. But create your own business, and definitely form your own platform so you're not relying on anybody. Right now, I got me, my business partner, my wife, we're a team. I got a couple other people that I work with, but, it's circles small and tight. You can't have everybody in your business. A lot of people don't want to see you win, man. I know David Icke, I'm already hip to him. Somebody actually made a comment on my Instagram about David Icke. They said, "Oh, Big Herc, quit reading David Icke." They said that, they think he's a quack, and they were hating on him. But I've been hip to David Icke since I was in the pen. A lot of you guys need to go read Behold the Pale Horse. Go check that book out and open your eyes up. Another dope book is Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. If you can find that book will blow your mind. Read that. And there's another book too, De Facto Government. Go check that out. So there's a lot of books out there, a lot of information. I'm not talking about just, a lot of material stuff as far as trying to gain material wealth. I'm talking about spiritual wealth, wealth that's going to kind of get your mind thinking so that you can know how the world operates and maybe give yourself an edge. Also, like I would say, for every dollar you make, put a quarter of that away in some type of hard asset, whether you're acquiring silver coins, gold. Build up your treasury, man. Build up your hard assets, your tangible assets, so that no matter what, that's going to always have value around the world. Somebody else mentioned too, junk removal. I see you, Anthony. Junk removal is a big business. A lot of people move out, leave junk in the house. I know a couple of people out here that have that type of business where they basically go to people's houses, they remove junk. Anything automotive, if you're get into being a mechanic, you're considered essential when it comes time for survival, and you're going to be an asset. If you can change a tire, oil, fix the brakes, get a car running, you will be invaluable if anything ever happened to us in the world, because people are going to need to get places, and you will be for sure an asset. So that's a big thing. Is anything automotive, health services, right now, a lot of those people are being needed to just, sanitize and do stuff in a hospital. Janitorial, I'd imagine if you work and you can go in and somebody's right now, if you got a janitorial service, you can go into some of these grocery stores and disinfect. That's big business. So just just keep your eyes open for different opportunities. We'll see what transpires next week, man. Easter is next Sunday, and Good Friday is coming up, so hopefully there's going to be some enlightenment, you guys. There's going to be some wake up calls. So we'll figure it out here. Stay free out here with beautiful chicks than being locked up in prison with men. I agree, man. It's who wants to be locked up with a bunch of nutsacks? Technology and using mathematics require technology and using mathematics. If you're good at math, then you can like basically figure out things in regards to engineering, which is another asset in production. So anything to do with mathematics and numbers, you can crunch, you can build stuff, you can, maybe you can construct, like you said, these ventilators, or you could put together some type of device that'd be of value. Paul McGee, thanks for the donation. Do you think Trump is a LARP? I'm not sure what a LARP is. I'm not sure what that is. He's saying a tool. Well, I don't think he's a tool. I think Trump, they underestimated Trump to a degree because everybody, Hillary was really pushing to be the next president. And I think, you don't make it to a certain position without having some type of backing. And the thing is, somebody said Trump is pushing 5G and vaccinations. They are all pushing some type of vaccination. You got people pushing, politicians, they're in the pockets of the pharmacy companies. They want everybody vaccinated. I made a post on Instagram about quantum tattoo, and a lot of people got offended. They're like, oh man, if it means saving my kid's life. I mean, like, dude, wake up. I mean, if you think you need an identity code, then go volunteer down there and get one. But I'm not saying you should have the option. They want everybody to be a slave. Don't question anything. And I don't get it, man. I don't get why you guys don't have the balls to stand up and question stuff. But I guess a lot of people are just followers. And if you're a follower, cool. I followed some things when I was younger, but then I wisened up. So I don't follow things like that anymore. And the thing is, at some point in life, you want your kids to have a better future than you, I would assume. And if that being the case, do something for your kids, man. Put them up on game so that they can be a step ahead of the game. And at least know how to move. And I would say going into this next decade, technology for sure, because for everything they try to implement, there's going to be people trying to de-implement. There's going to be people like the Monrovian in the Matrix. There's going to be people like Morpheus in the Matrix trying to educate. So, they want access and they want to be able to track our every movement. And they already do. They got these phones. They access the videos on the computers and TV, smart TVs, and with the 5G, they're going to be able to turn it on whenever they want. Dude, you'll have no privacy. So don't even worry about it. You guys want convenience? Well, you won't have any. You'll be able to be monitored at every given time. And people say, well, I'm not doing nothing. It's not the fact that you're doing anything. It's the fact that you have a right. But, a lot of you guys don't care about rights, man. You know what I mean? You don't care about rights. And so I say that if you don't care about them, then you don't deserve them. So, and somebody said F-Tech. I know F-Tech, but I'm saying people that learn to use tech could also use it to protect themselves. So you're not just blinded by it. Because right now, a lot of people are using it for the wrong things. I don't know if you guys have seen these AI robots that now can basically defend themselves, that could, disarm. I mean, dude, it's pretty scary, man. In the future, if that's what the future looks like, you're talking about, you're talking about Terminator, man. You're talking about, robots coming in and they have no conscience and they just, it's going to be a cold game out there. So, wake up, you guys, and just Be conscious, and just think about it like this. Like I said, you don't like tech. Well, think about tech can also help you to protect yourself against bad tech. You got good tech, you got evil tech. You got people using tech to manipulate. So why not use it to do good? Don't know them. You have a great platform. Thanks, teach them. Industrial revolution, its consequences have been a disaster to humanity. Yeah. I mean, the tech industry has been, at one end, we see that tech has been, it supposedly helped everybody, but now they experiment with these different viruses in labs, and you got bioterrorism, you got all these things that they're using tech for, and a lot of it seems, to me, it doesn't seem as good as it appeared to be 10, 20 years ago. Yeah, you can TikTok, and you can FaceTime, and you can do all this stuff, but at the end of the day, is it worth it? So, we were so focused on people dropping bombs and radiation fallout and chemical warfare. Nobody thought about bio warfare. Nobody thought about what would happen if they, produced a laboratory design altered virus, and then they turned around and said, hey, I got a vaccine for you. Nobody thought about that. We didn't even plan that. Paul McGee, thanks for the donation. So, there's there's a lot of stuff, man. They put the wool right over our eyes, man. And worrying about a nuclear weapon is pale in comparison when you think about a bioweapon that can cross borders, that's undetectable, that can affect thousands, possibly millions of people. And then you talking about, yeah, we got a vaccine, and but it comes with a cost. You don't know if years from now, if your cells are going to start deteriorating, if you're going to get Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, kidney problems, kidney failure, liver failure. It's really, man, it's sad, man. At the end of the day, I just really feel sad about why you have people with that much power and money. It's not enough. It's not enough that you already are worth 100 billion or half a trillion. You wanna just put people all the way down in the dirt. There's a term for that, where even though you won the game of life per se financially, you still want to just kick people all the way down a hole. You don't care if they don't have anything. You don't care if they're just destitute. That's the level of what we're looking at, man. Some people are being put in a situation that's just beyond economic recovery. So I don't know, man. I'm not a religious person, but spiritually, I meditate, man, and I send out good energy to all you guys out there, to everyone who's trying to cope with these situations, and to hopefully comfort you in these times. I know a lot of times we look for answers and we can't find them, and let's all put our energy. Let's all put a good vibe out there, so that the people who are behind that black curtain are exposed, and we can see some truth and some retribution, at the end of the day. But hey, thanks for tuning into my live. I'll be doing this on a weekly basis. I'll get a couple shout outs in here before I check out. Shout out to all the homies at North Highlands, 916, Ant, I see you, Jazzy J, all you guys, man, out there, I see you, Chef V, I see you in the house, man. It's going to be a lot of opportunities, but at other people's cost, man. A lot of people, their housing prices, anything in the housing market is going to be, it's going to be super cheap right now coming out of this. So it's going to be a buyer's market. Compton in the house, Utah in the house, Birmingham in the house, Houston, Texas, I see you. Charlotte, I see you. North Carolina, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 602 West Phoenix, Tucson, Arizona, Linwood, 520. I see you, Frank. Somebody's asking about the cut game. I'm retired, brother. Inglewood, Chicago, Canada, Salinas, Stockton in the house, Durham, North Carolina, ATL, Orlando, Big things after this going on, man. I'm gonna start touring, man, doing more public speaking. So you guys look out for that. You know, hopefully I can hit a city near you. Biloxi, Mississippi, San Antonio, Brooklyn in the house, Chicago, Chi-Town. Peace out to all y'all. North Oakland, Burbank. Let me see. Somebody said that would exist inadequate. The hypocrisy of the technology, betrayal sensitive, similar emotions fooled again. Yeah, we got fooled again with technology, man. New Orleans, shout out to you. Claremont, California, all right. Rhode Island, Vallejo, Detroit, Thailand, Cleveland. Ron Rasul Fitness, I see you, man. Glastonbury. Hey, man, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Much love, man. Gotta go take care of some business, but I'll be back again next week. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my YouTube, my YouTube, Big Herc916. Also YouTube Fresh Out Series, Big Herc916. Instagram, Twitter. Go to bigherc916.com. I got life coaching. I got mentoring. Hey, man, we can work out something. I offer classes and one-on-ones, but let's change life for the better. Let's stay positive. Let's stay motivated, and let's stay awake.